This is to do that if you want to vote. And it's important that you take part in the process of voting. Just go there, give them your name and your address. That's all. And of course, they will capture you, take your picture, and that's all. You are done. Within 5 minutes, you are done. And after that, when the time comes, they call it claims and objection time. That's when you look at it. They will paste all the results or the names of those that have registered all over the places. You will go to the place you register, check your name that is well spelled, and the information you've given them correct. And that's all. After some time again, they will tell you that your voter's card is ready. You go and pick it. That is all. Be a good Nigerian citizen. Partake in the process, because it's a duty imposed on you by Section 23 of the 1999 Constitution as a good citizen. And you will be better off by voting, because you have your mind that, yes, you voted right. I'm Wole Ogunade, constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and President, Voters Awareness Initiative. Thank you.
Welcome to the Middlemen of Jurors, the panel where public matters are examined, debated, and given better rulings. Today, we turn our focus to the soul of Nigeria, as seen through the lens of 3 jurors determined to question power, uncover truth, and demand accountability. Juror Henry Igwebuike enters the theater of controversy with his case, titled Wole Soyinka and the Theater of Power, Legacy or Compromise. He explores whether honoring the Nobel laureate in the Tinubu era is a tribute to truth or a token of political patronage. Juror Olajumoke Alaude James unveils a piercing case titled, Nigerian Politicians Will Embarrass You. She takes us through a scandal of forged certificates, failed systems, and a political class that keeps teaching the wrong lessons about integrity. While I, Juror Emeka Madunagu, provoke deep thinking with my case, let's talk about poverty. Between government denial and World Bank data, I examine how Nigeria's leaders are losing touch with the hunger and hardship defining everyday life. All this and more after the break. Do stay tuned.
Middleman. Middleman.
The highly anticipated book titled Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This explosive new book takes you on a journey through the finest writing of the ace journalist and broadcaster that will leave you inspired and informed.
Citizen Jones Selected Prologues of Volume 1 now available. Catch your copy.
Thanks for staying with us. My case, let's talk about poverty. An argument has broken out between the Tinubu administration and its primary lender, the World Bank, on the poverty rate in Nigeria. While the World Bank says that 139 million Nigerians are living in poverty, the Tinubu administration says it's lesser than that. The Tinubu government has apparently forgotten that the World Bank works with statistics supplied by the Federal Ministry of Finance, the National Bureau of Statistics, and other planning agencies in arriving at its figures. There is a proverb that says, he who goes a borrowing goes a sorrowing. That's the current dilemma he has with the bank. The current administration continues to say things are improving, but the picture on the streets doesn't support that. You devalued the naira heavily when you came into office in order to be able to borrow. Now that more people have been thrown into poverty, you are now claiming you've lifted people into prosperity. My verdict: Tinubu lacks a clear path to ending the poverty and hunger in the land. Instead of seeking help, his administration is more interested in spinning alternative facts that don't match with the reality on the ground. The lavish lifestyle and wasteful projects it has adopted have kept a decent living far from millions of Nigerians. A change of strategy is needed.
There we go. Another case of power paradox. We call that CEO disease, when leaders totally exfoliate themselves from the reality of the now. They don't understand, what it means to be poor, they don't understand what it means to go through a difficulty. And what amazed me the most is the fact that most of these people you see today who are determining how our lives, go on, are people who themselves and their families, back in the days, went through some of these difficulties, and they understand what it means to trek long distance to go to school while they were in primary school. The same thing while they were in a secondary school. But today, these same people feel like they don't care. They feel like they don't know what they're supposed to do. They feel like, when we say this is the things that we need, they feel it is not necessary, especially made worse by some of the media jobbers of the same president, the likes of the Fasua, Reno Omokri, Daniel Buala, and a list of all others who themselves know the truth, but they pretend not to, know or see some of this truth, And sometimes I ask, isn't it very easy for these people to take a call to their villages? Everyone comes from a village. So why not go to your village and do a census and ask people, a vox pop, and ask, what do you think about this administration? And then they might return back and find out what the issue is. But the situation where, we all pretend, they all pretend that they don't see the truth, that's where the big problem is actually.
And why is the Tinubu administration interested in debunking what the World Bank is saying? Where are their own statistics? Just last week, the National Bureau of Statistics, former DG, Wale, Yemi, is it Kale or Kale?
Yemi Kale, yes, Kale.
Reeled out statistics telling us that more Nigerians are falling into poverty. World Bank is now reiterating what your own experts said. You are now saying, where are their own statistics? Where they get it from? Did they do counting or census? The last census we did in Nigeria was in 2006. The next one was supposed to be in 2016. President Buhari said we didn't have money. It will be 2026 next year. Now 20 whole years, no census.
We don't know how many we are.
So you are estimating poor people rather than going on the anyway. Maybe they said they were giving poor people 25,000. They sent it to how many million households?
8 million.
I beg.
8.5 million households. So the interesting thing is that look at somebody like Daniel Buala, who is a special assistant on policy communication. He's supposed to be communicating the policies of this administration.
So who?
But because he lacks an understanding of his job specification, so he goes talking about all kinds of things, tweeting, whether he's supposed to be engaged in research, or is it Tope Fashua, who in years past used to regale us with very fantastic economic theories, now justifying the very failures of the administration. Somebody said that, you can get a good meal, and then as if it's only rice you'll be eating. There will be nothing else you do with your life. You will do with your money and all of that. I think basically,
they have mentioned that President Tinubu is the first real politician that we had as president, because he's politicking with our lives.
But what has he achieved?
Politics.
Nothing. Even his politics is wonky, because his politics is based on furthering the interests of the elite.
Emeka, didn't you see the visit of Ogunlesi, the BlackRock stakeholder, to Abuja just a couple of days back? And he said on national television that he apologized to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the failure of his conglomerate not investing in Nigeria. They just invested.
GIP.
Yes, they just invested in LNG in Benin.
They invested in his BlackRock.
Yes.
Which bought over GIP, Global Investment Partners. BlackRock invested in equities in Nigeria and Kenya, but last year they pulled out.
Exactly. So that's what he was saying, and he said that he apologized to Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the failure of his company not doing such, and but he stated a fact there that Nigeria is a very difficult country to invest in. It was very.
You can't move your money out.
Very so glaring.
You can't move your money out. So, and the thing is, the sad thing is that you are looking for investors abroad who cannot repatriate their earnings. Julius Berger was using cashew export to repatriate his earnings. Julius Berger now has stopped cashew exports. Yes. Because you cannot, pretend that 6 and half a dozen don't mean this. No, I mean, they mean the same thing, but you can't pretend that they don't mean the same thing. You know, so the basic thing is that these people are far removed from what is happening on the streets. They don't understand the dilemma of the common man. They don't understand that the common man is hungry. They are talking about the fact that price of things have come down. Yes, but down to where? Where you met things was at $7.50 to $1. Now we're still at $1,004 to $1. You are saying you want to achieve $1,003 to $1 by the end of the year. Whereas, if you cut off some of your frivolous expenditure, we might get to $900 to $1.
But how do we even achieve that? They say there's devil in the detail. At this point, a Chinese firm actually said that they were going to reconsider their investment in Lagos because they feel it's no longer a safe haven. Because most of those they work with in Nigeria have seen their properties demolished, especially with the trade fair thing. You know, because he said that most of those who had those plazas actually built it because they had a very good business investment that they wanted to bring in from China to Nigeria, you know, but because of all of these issues, they were going to pull back their investments and hopefully, you know, will not do anything. And the truth of the matter is, we don't actually consider these things, even if they are very minute. We feel they don't matter. You know, if they go, okay, let them go, another one will come, as if they are the one to bring the other one. that would come.
Yeah, well, it's just about trying to play dice, just like Lady J said.
We're talking about the demolitions or saying sometimes you can be legal, but at the end of the day you're not moral or ethical. So you allow them to build the most with all of their money and funding and whatever it is, loans that they got, and they come and say, oh, you didn't get the right permission, then demolish. You know, the ease of doing business in Nigeria
is terrible.
It's a mirage. Let's even start with that one. So when they are looking for foreign investment and you have not even secured your state, see, there was insecurity in Kwara. Kwara governor followed the president to go to Imo to go and book a
launch a book. Yeah.
I said book a launch.
Yeah, to book a launch.
So I mean, you need to you can't put a cart before the horse.
Yeah.
You know, you need to do things systematically. So, but again, President Tinubu did not promise you people anything.
Okay, from the beginning.
Tell me what he promised you during the campaign now.
No, he said he would reduce purchasing power.
Yes.
Slow down the economy and increase taxes. And he has been performing that very well. Anyway, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, Juror Henry Igwebuike will be here to present his case titled Wole Soyinka and the Theatre of Power, Legacy or Compromise. Do stay tuned.
Now,
For details, contact 0706 9637 935 or send an email to enterprisetv@gmail.com. Citizen Jones Selected Prologues, a classical compendium of compelling arguments.
jurors. Of jurors. In the hallowed halls of justice, where echoes of truth intertwine with whispers of despair, there stands Jumoke Alawode James, a radiant figure sculpted by the universe, with a beauty akin to a stallion galloping through fields of reckoning. Clad in the armor of eloquence, her voice pierces the thick veil of complacency, unraveling cases that cradle the very essence of Nigeria's collective agony. She stands a sentinel over a nation laid bare, beckoning it to rise from the ashes of its own dissolution, crying out for a redemption that dances just beyond reach. Next emerges Evans Ufeli, a sage, with a heart that beats in harmony with the rhythm of justice, an advocate driven by a fervent dream of egalitarian dawn. Each week, he unfolds a scroll of cases bestowed upon him by the wise rabbi, a craft woven with threads of profound thought and searing urgency. His lamentation for the plight of the people rises like a haunting melody, reverberating through a land where self-inflicted wounds twist the tendrils of allegiance into knots of a servitude, traded for nothing more than a pittance, a morsel of bread amidst the hunger of the soul. Then strides forth Emeka Madunagu, a linguistic maestro, armed with knowledge as dense as the forest, each word a carefully sharpened arrow aimed at the heart of injustice. He ventures onto this hallowed platform armed with solutions, a veritable panacea for the ail of his compatriots. Emeka unyielding locks eyes with the elite, unflinching in his resolve as he speaks truth to power with the fervor of a modern-day prophet. He advocates for a class suicide, a radical act of severance from the vines of greed that choke the very life of Nigeria, prescribing this sacrificial rite as the only balm for the nation's festering wounds. Now, we bear witness to Innocent Aduluba, a custodian of integrity, where honesty flows like a river untainted. His edges of sacred truth is fortified by the solid foundation of reason, delivering a symphony of clarity that dances gracefully along the socio-cultural spectrum. Innocent, an oracle of the common people, channels their pulse, imbibing the essence of their struggle.
Thank you for still being here. My case, Wole Soyinka and the Theatre of Power, a legacy, a compromise. For decades, Professor Wole Soyinka was Nigeria's loudest moral voice, fearless in the face of tyranny, outspoken against the military juntas, and unapologetically blunt with corrupt civilian regimes. He condemned Gowon's silence, Abacha's brutality, Obasanjo's excesses, and Buhari's authoritarianism. His consistent stand against corruption, nepotism, tribalism, and impunity carved his image as the intellectual conscience of the nation. But today, Nigerians are left wondering what actually changed. The announcement that the National Theatre, a cultural monument historically burdened by mismanagement, will be renamed after Soyinka under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is jarring. This is the same administration facing public discontent over its economic policies, perceived opacity, and growing regional favoritism. The same Soyinka who once said he detests political patronage now finds himself at the center of what many see as symbolic rewards. Soyinka, who publicly denounced renaming institutions for political gains, now appears to embrace the very gesture he would have once dismissed as a shallow token of power theatrics. Is this a case of softening with age, or has ethnic and political proximity blurred one's clear lines? The same Soyinka who criticized Jonathan and Buhari with literally venom has treaded more softly around Tinubu's despite glaring policy failures. My verdict: honoring Soyinka is not the issue, but doing so under an administration still struggling with legitimacy, accountability, and equity reeks of strategic appeasement, not national consensus. In a country where memory fades fast and icons are tools of convenience, this moment risks rewriting a legacy built on truth with the link of political compromise. Even the strongest voices risk being muted, not by force this time, but by favor. Jurors.
So Wole Soyinka is 91, so I expect that at this time we should be treating him like a child, a baby. He needs to be sleeping more, having more siestas, relaxing more. Oh, by the way, I saw him yesterday. He's doing very well.
Really? He's kicking
for
strong.
His age, kicking strong. You know, he has a Wole Soyinka Center at the Freedom Park. You know, so I saw him at Freedom Park yesterday. Coming back to the Tinubu administration, nothing this administration does surprises me, because what's the president's precedence in terms of governance in Lagos? His 8 years, all I remember of him was dividing roads, you know, just so that you couldn't cross from one side to the other. He put dividers on most roads. He renamed streets, you know, from the colonial colonialists' names, you know, to
Osborne Road.
Talk
about
Funshaw, you know.
Yeah.
Just
Western Avenue to Funshaw Williams.
So just renaming streets, that's what we know him for. And then in the last 2 years as president, what has he done? The ICC built by Babangida, named ICC by a military dictator that would have assumed we'll name it after himself.
Yeah.
You know, Nigerians call the Third Mainland Bridge Babangida Bridge, even though he's not the one who built it. You know, but the military administrators that we condemn for doing things with fiat did not name as many things as President Tinubu. He seems to have some complex, you know. So I'm not perturbed at all that he's renaming something after Professor Wole Soyinka. Professor Wole Soyinka has also told us how President Tinubu helped him, you know, bought him pots and pans, and that's Yoruba allegiance. He's not going to say anything bad about it. So again, they're doing exactly what I expected of them.
But the problem is, you know, for me, December 30 this year will make it 30 years that Soyinka and Nahoro and Rewane and some Kuti, that I joined them at Yaba to organize the Grand Nadeko Rally. December 30, 1995. We're all there, you know. So 30 years down the line, Nahoro is gone, Ransom Kuti is gone, Alfred Rewane is gone, you know, and why are we still expecting
anything of Wole Soyinka?
Anything from Wole Soyinka?
Absolutely.
New voices ought to have come up. What am I going to ask Soyinka to say about what? About what? No, you don't see. Yes, you might say.
But again, it's the same contemporaries that they criticized over 30 years ago that are pretty much still in power, to be very honest with you, sir.
No, I understand, but Soyinka has.
Babangida was head of state in 1985 to 1992, 93, right? Everybody would still go to him when they're seeking power. So is the contemporary.
Yeah, it's symbolic, but you not see Babangida coming out, speaking every day and all of that.
So Wole Soyinka is even not speaking anything again, and we are
it's
condemning him for that.
It's better let him not speak. Let him, you know, because
if he speaks in favor.
The things he said in the past, was he not the one who wrote the book, The Man Died?
Yes.
Who kept silent in the face of tyranny.
So now he's silent.
So fine, the man has
died.
You know, well,
the man has died.
Literally speaking. So I mean, what am I expecting from him? Because as a young journalist, as a young reporter, I happen to have been, you know, to have had close access to a lot of these figures who shaped the pro-democracy struggle. With whom, you know, we fought the military and all of that. And so for me, we have a new, we now have democracy. You see, expectedly, their worldview was shaped by resistance to military rule. And then now that there's a democracy, I think they might have a problem, if you permit the use of that word. There might be some difficulty switching between, you know, perspectives, because their perspective was that of confrontational perspective against dictatorship.
I get what you mean.
Now it has, you know, it birthed the Fourth Republic. It might not look like a conflict of interest, you know, conflict of positions, you know, conflict of dialectics. For you, whose activism birthed what you wanted, to now also continue criticizing.
But he continued.
But there were no conflict of interest when he was criticizing Buhari, Obasanjo.
No. Yes. Now you have even accentuated my point by that, because you now started criticizing what your agitation bathed. But you have got to a point where you have now decided to, ease off, from the, take your foot off the pedal for, reasons best known to you.
He's 91.
So the thing is this, I will just tell Nigerians, your voices count. Social media, interestingly, came with the Fourth Republic, so it has given everybody a voice.
Yes.
Forget whatever people may be saying that social media.
This case wasn't
you
talking
give your
about
voice.
what Wole Soyinka's voice. It was talking about giving him an honor that he's not worthy of.
Well, I won't say it's not worthy of. He's a Nigerian.
Yeah, he is very much.
He's a Nigerian. He's eminently qualified
very well
for that honor. But what we are saying is this: the fact that the title of this case is a political compromise. There's some political compromise, in the entire thing, because of course, it could be viewed that Tinubu is rewarding him for not criticizing him.
But he used to criticize other presidents for doing exactly.
And they didn't reward him. They didn't reward him.
So he used to criticize other presidents for doing the same thing with their own loyalists.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he should be the first person to tell President Tinubu, no, don't do that. What is this? Come on, Tinubu. But I'll go and sit down somewhere.
That's the irony. Look at activists taking appointments. Look at activists. Look at Adam Soshomole. Are you not embarrassed? Say Adam Soshomole.
Are you not entertained?
It's actually very funny, because we've had or seen a legacy world-class facilities or infrastructure renamed, like the Eiffel Towers was formerly called the 300-meter metal. Right, but it was renamed after the one who constructed the Eiffel Towers himself. So there's nothing bad, if we rename some of these things. But the question, like you did say, is why would we do it for Wole Soyinka, who, of course, wasn't one that needed any of those because supported. Exactly. So we will go on a short break, and when we return, Juror Olajumoke Alawode James will be here to present her case titled Nigerian Politicians Will Embarrass You. To stay tuned, we'll be right back. And transforming them into the language of the streets. His enlightenment becomes a lantern, guiding those lost in the shadow, illuminating pathways once obscured as he breathes life into the collective consciousness. Henry Igwebuike stands as a watchdog, a vigilant watcher of the tempest that permeates the fabric of Nigeria, a land once resplendent with the vibrancy of hope, now adrift in the murky waters of uncertainty. With a heart heavy, yet buoyed by fate, he ponders the fate of this great vessel, once sailed by the spirits of unity and promise, now battered by the storms of discord and strife. What port shall it find amidst the turmoil? Where does the compass of its destiny truly point? As waves of cynicism crash against its hull, as the sirens of turmoil sing lullabies of disillusion. In this pantheon of jurors, each voice rings out a chorus, weaving the fabric of a new Nigeria. Sit, relax, and enjoy the show. The Middlemen of Jurors.
My people, the elections are around the corner. Before you know it, it will be 2027. But before then, for you to partake in the election, you must have your voter's card. And for you to have your voter's card, you must register. INEC has rolled out the drums. We call this program Continuous Voters Registration. And it is for you to register. This is to do that if you want to vote. And it's important that you take part in the process of voting. Just go there, give them your name and your address. That's all. And of course, they will capture you, take your picture, and that's all. You are done. Within 5 minutes, you are done. And after that, when the time comes, they call it claims and objection time. That's when you look at it. They will paste all the results or the names of those that have registered all over the places. You will go to the place you register, check your name that is well spelled, and the information you've given them correct. And that's all. After some time again, they will tell you that your voter's card is ready. You go and pick it. That is all. Be a good Nigerian citizen. Partake in the process, because it's a duty imposed on you by Section 23 of the 1999 Constitution as a good citizen. And you will be better off by voting, because you have your mind that, yes, you voted right. I'm Wole Soyinka, constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and President, Voters Awareness Initiative. Thank you.
Thanks for staying with us. Here's my case. Nigerian politicians will embarrass you. Former Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, resigned days after allegations emerged that he had forged his academic credentials from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN. Yet, he denies any wrongdoing. Presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga claimed he was the target of blacklists and launched a 2-year investigation into Naji's certificates presented at his appointment in 2023. UNN said he was admitted in 1981, but they have no records of his 1985 certificates. Also, the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, said they have no records of his certificate. Hi, Nigerian politicians will embarrass you. How did the Senate screen him? Their answer: their job is to screen the persons and not the certificates. Did the DPSS do a background check? Or they're supposed to only screen for criminal records and not certificates too? Why are university certificates such a huge issue with Nigerian politicians? The current president had the same issue when he was governor in 1999. It was exposed that he attended the Chicago State University, not the University of Chicago, on his INEC form. Just about the same time, the then Speaker of the House of Representatives in 1999, Salisu Buhari, had a Toronto University certificate issue. It was also fake. At just 29 years in 1999, he resigned and was later convicted of certificate forgery and sentenced to 2 years in prison with an option of a fine. He paid the fine and was later pardoned by President Olusegun Obasanjo. INEC only requires secondary school certificates for aspiring leaders. Why do they feel pressured to present certificates they do not have? Same thing with late President Buhari, who couldn't even find his secondary school certificate for 2 terms as president. His Minister of State, Kemi Adeosun, who did go to school in the UK, also had his fake certificate issue. Her NYSC certificate was forged. No wonder some youth think school is a scam. We're led by people who forge certificates. Here's my verdict. There's a national reorientation needed for Nigerians on the importance of education and the avoidance of Oluwole certificates. By the way, have you registered on citizenmonitors.com? That's the right step for us to take our elections back and put in credible leaders across Nigeria, not ones that will be forging certificates. Anambra gubernatorial elections is first up. So go register.
Beautiful. That's awesome. And this, on a light mode, actually reminds me of Kenny Ogungbe, Keke, right? He, at 50 something,
55.
Yes, he just appeared on the suddenly appeared on the day of a passing out parade.
No, I wasn't passing out.
Okay,
it was day of orientation.
Okay, what?
It was day of orientation. You know that 3 weeks, 3 weeks orientation.
Yes, yeah.
Was where you don't show.
With the most immaculate uniform
so
ever.
He said, this is. He may just have political ambition.
Yes.
Remember Davido too.
Yes, Davido just appeared.
When he went. It was NYSC that was not begging the video. Please don't come again. We are not doing concerts here. All the crowd that used to come for orientation, don't come again. No. So that you not say, because his uncle,
yes,
the current governor of Osun State, had certificate issue.
Yes.
When he wanted to become governor, he said, okay, which school you go? So he lost the election, although he was somehow shy anyway. But INEC declared someone else, and then he went back to school.
Yes.
So why are they also? This is why certificate.
No, let me tell you something. We have also exported it too. Kemi Bednock claimed she got admission to read pre-med at Stanford University. And the admissions officer at the time, John Reader, has come out to say that he would have, if there was anything like that, he would have given admission and financial aid. And meanwhile, Stanford University doesn't have any policy of giving admissions for pre-meds. So we have exported. Yes, really?
But again,
so we have exported our
current president. You know, in 1999, the issue was that, oh no, he wasn't the one who filled his INEC form. It was Tokunbo Afikuyomi who filled the form and made an error, which is really possible. But till today, Chicago State University certificate that he even provide. Okay, it's not longer university.
Female.
It's female. That was admitted, not male. Why now?
You see, the thing is this. I think there is also an ego problem. That is why they don't want to develop education in Nigeria.
Look at this one, a whole minister of innovation,
science and technology.
How is he supposed to know what they are doing there?
No, innovation now, innovative.
Because it's actually very strange. If not for this scandal, I never knew who this man was.
This man has been in politics.
No, I'm not talking about politics now. Yeah. I'm talking about his position as the minister.
We know
of Dave Umahi, we know of Tunde Ojo, we know of Wike with his rascality. We don't know this man.
Dave Umahi, yes. Professor in practice.
Yes. Of practice.
But this is true. Uche Onaji, we will never have heard of him. Again, the reason you will not hear of him is because he's not a peg in a round hole. He's not even a peg. He shouldn't even be there at all. But you now, I don't know how this embarrassment is embarrassing me. Embarrassment where me agbada.
But Baro is not thinking that way though.
Even he after resigning, I think they must have, rather than sack him, because Premium Times has really been on the case for 2 years. Rather than sack him, they gave him a soft landing and said he should resign. After he resigned, he now said that his resignation does not mean wrongdoing. Oga, you think you are talking to children, or you think we are dumb like you? Because if I'm going to forge a certificate, I'll do it right. Yes. If I am going to.
So are we expecting?
I'm saying if.
No. Don't even plan it.
Listen, sir. What I'm saying is that if you're going to even do something criminal, use sense. There are universities in Unilag as it is now. You just find that if I have a colleague whose matric number is 1978. By the time he wanted to come to do his PhD, it was somebody else that was now having that matric number. So there are universities who they will give you matric number, they will give you original certificates, not the Oluwole one that the university cannot even defend.
Let's even talk about open universities. It's all over the place. It would have been a better one for him to say, okay, I didn't go to UNN, but I went to one of the open universities.
And then who is he
and nobody would even.
Who is he deceiving?
But you know the man, he was in the Senate before.
Who is he deceiving?
He was in the Senate before.
Remember his predecessor. I want to talk about that one too. Onu, that promised us under Buhari that Nigeria will start producing pencils by 2016.
Yeah,
we have not started.
No, but he wrote in a vehicle, designed with is it not wood?
To show.
So he was talking of Nigerians building vehicles.
And he died as a result of driving bike, isn't it?
I have always said that.
No, that was Ojo Madekwe.
Nothing.
Okay. Okay.
Who was riding bikes?
Who told us that we should be riding bikes to save fuel? Anyway, I've always said that there's nothing President Tinubu is going to do that is going to surprise me, right? He's going to appoint people who are similar in mindsets, who are similar in thought process, who are about politicking, and making money for their children's children. So I'm not surprised at anything that he does. Why I'm saying that Nigerian politicians will embarrass you is, if you're going to do something, I mean, there are ways to go about these things and do it correctly. Forgery and incompetence is not peculiar to Nigerian politicians. It happens all over the world. But just do it with a bit of intelligence, you know. You actually resign because if his certificate was original, he would not have needed to resign. Definitely. Then you resign and then say, hey, you are not resigning because of wrongdoing. Oh, who are you talking to? And then why is our politics filled with people like this? Why can't we be true to ourselves? Why can't we demand better of the politicians that we put into place? It just saddens me. It's actually very sad. And same from Enugu State. Of course, he had linked Peter Mba as those that are a part of the scandal.
But the Peter Mba that met with Tinubu, Peter Mba that is expected to defect to APC in the next 2 weeks. Is that the person whom by Ononuga was referred as political opponent? You know, the problem is when you have incompetent people handling your media and publicity, they just say anything without even thinking about the implications. When you think about appointments as compensation to loyalists and political stalwarts, you would find people that are not pegs to be putting in holes. Well, at the same time, we need to give it to UNN for coming clean with that. Other institutions would have gone behind to say no, or would have been bribed. No, this is not the first time. Because this matter has been on the VC there. No, before 2 years, there was a publication, Nigerian news leader. Yeah. Incidentally,